good morning, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 12:30 a.m. I'm Will Sutton, and guess what? I am flying solo today in the studio, but I got company. I got company. Big man, GM Justin is in his place behind the glass, keeping me on track and taking your calls and making sure that all the tech is working. So we thank you for listening on 12:30 a.m. For those who like to listen there, we thank you for listening. If you're on the internet, if you want to hop on the internet, you can certainly go to the station's website and get in tune with us there. And of course, we're always happy to see our WBOK family of listeners and watchers on Facebook Live. So good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It is 7:05 a.m., and that means if you got to be somewhere for 7:15, you got about 10 minutes. Depending on where you are in your process, you might need to hurry up. But if it's only 4 minutes away, you could probably get out the door with your favorite morning beverage, your backpack, your bag, your watch, your cell phone, and your keys. Don't forget the keys. I hate when I do that. I have to go outside and then come back in. And then I realize, oh, I left the door open. Oh, my goodness. So watch out for the kiddies. As always, the school zones are in effect until 9 o'clock. And we've got a lot ahead for you. So it's Thursday, pre-Friday. And if it's Thursday morning at the Good Morning Show, then you know what day it is. We'll be hearing from our Congressman, Troy Carter. And of course, there's so much going on in the world, in the nation, in our state. So we'll be hearing from the congressman this hour. We also will be looking at some of the Google search trends. So we got Halloween coming up. So a lot of people using Google to look up Halloween and Halloween treats and Frightgeist and all of that. And so let's find out about Frightgeist, something that Google has going on. We'll find out about that. And yes, we've got a election in motion. The election day is November 15th, but early voting starts Saturday. Early voting starts Saturday, November 1, and continues until through November 8th. So for those of you all who like to early vote, or if you haven't tried it, it's a good thing to do because you never know what might be happening on any other given day. Some folks have gotten so used to early voting that they like to vote on the first day of early voting. And we'll do what we can to make sure that you're aware of things as we start early voting, as we go through early voting, and of course, get you ready for Election Day for those of you all who like to vote on Election Day. And of course, as always, we here like to make sure you know your options. So don't forget, if you are eligible for an absentee or mail ballot, you can request that now if you haven't gotten it already. And that way you have the option of doing your ballot in the comfort of your home. You can mail it in, or you can take it to City Hall. So that's an option you have if you are eligible for a mail ballot. But the absolute drop dead deadline for the mail ballot is 4:30 p.m. on November 14th. That is the day before the election. And in Orleans Parish, we have a number of things to be considered, but three of them involve candidates. We have Darren Clark, the incumbent clerk, being challenged by Calvin Duncan. We have Holly Freeman and Amy McCarran seeking to succeed their former boss, Joe Giarrusso, and in District E, where Oliver Thomas has been the representative 4 years come next January, we have State Representative Jason Hughes and former City Councilwoman Cindy Nguyen. So those, depending on where you live, you can, in terms of candidates, you can vote for two people, uh, and that would be District A and the clerk's race. Or if you live in District E, you can vote for the District E candidate of your choice and the clerk race. But if you live elsewhere in New Orleans and you don't have a city council election, then you're voting on the clerk race exclusively. In terms of people, that's in terms of people. But we got some pretty big bond measures that are on the ballot, and we're going to do what we can here to keep you abreast of that, to give you some information. So, frankly, we had Cary Grant on yesterday, and we're going to have some folks from the BGR on tomorrow. And today we're going to have Joni Hess, who covers City Hall for the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com. My colleague, sister, is going to join us and talk a bit about that. So for those of you who are not sure what's going on with the bond measures, you had a chance to learn about that yesterday. You certainly can go back and play that back. You're going to hear about it tomorrow when BGR, this is the important work that they do, evaluate where things stand with the city, evaluate issues, and provide comprehensive research and data assessments of things like the bond measures. And I thought we'd bring in a sister that some of you all might not be aware of, but she is Joni Hess. She covers City Hall, and she has been looking at the bond measures, so she'll be on the show later on during this program. So, yes, you're going to hear some of the things that might sound like, well, I just heard that, but we want to make sure that you have as much information and some different viewpoints and perspectives so that hopefully somebody is speaking your language, and among those different folks, you can hear something and say, now I understand it. And perhaps you might have questions along the way. So we've got a great show ahead, and we're going to make sure that you get the information you need and that you want to know and should know. And you're going to hear some news and information separate from that as we move along. Well, one of the big things that happened yesterday, we had the governor of the state of Louisiana decide to tell the state bond commission that they should reject the city of New Orleans' request for a $125 million loan, which would have helped to secure the current budget, and it would have been essentially a municipal payday loan. So, of course, you get the money, and then you can use it accordingly, but you pay at a higher rate. And that would have helped with the current $160 million deficit that we're facing, and perhaps more importantly, for a lot of people, helping the city be able to make payroll between now and the end of the year. So we have quite a development yesterday where City Council, not leaders of City Council, not City Council at-large members, not City Council District this and District that, all of City Council came together and said, we withdraw the request. So imagine that you need this money and you decide, we really need this money, but you're going to say, that's okay. Well, Why did they say that's okay? They said, we don't like where you're going with this, because where you're going with this is you want to take over the city's finances. You don't want to approve us for a bond. You want to come in and take over, and you want to be in control of the city's finances. And we see right through this, and we say, no, no go. We're not going for that. So that sets us back a bit. But we're gonna have some other possibilities, but it's going to be challenging. One of the things that was supposed to happen yesterday was a fiscal review committee was scheduled to meet to consider recommending a state agent taking over New Orleans financials, which is what the governor wanted to see happen. So they canceled that meeting after the city council said that's okay, with withdraw the request. That meeting was necessary before meeting scheduled for today, where the bond commission would consider and reject or consider and approve the request for the loan. Uh, with Governor Landry coming out against it, and since the bond commission is basically Landry appointees, and a number of those bond commissioners saying publicly, uh, we're going to follow his lead. We are not going to approve this. Then that is where that stood. So no need to have that meeting yesterday, and no reason to have the meeting today. And at a news conference yesterday, uh, City Council Vice President Helena Moreno, who takes office on January 12th, who is currently the City Council Vice President but the Mayor elect, said, I will not stand for having a fiscal administrator come into the city of New Orleans. That is essentially the state coming in and taking over the city. Well, I don't think many New Orleanians like the idea of the state taking over the city of New Orleans. No offense to Bogalusa, but you're probably talking about $5-6 million over there, but you're talking about millions more dollars with the city of New Orleans. So good to see them stand up, uh, straighten up their backs, uh, puff out their chests, and say, oh no. I see you, Ms. Jones. We got to call her. Good morning, Ms. Jones. How are you?
Good morning to the listening audience. I'm going to make a suggestion. He's doing all of this because I think eventually they want to make New Orleans the capital of Louisiana,
Mm.
the money-getting place. All you have to do is say New Orleans anywhere in the world. They can't speak a lick of English, but they know about it. But they don't know about a red thick Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Think about it. It was at one time for a couple of minutes. I understand. I have to dig more into the history. But this is where the money is. This is where the money is. He wouldn't do that to those suburban areas and those country part where you have predominantly Caucasians. He wouldn't do that there. This is the bankroll for Louisiana. Louisiana Bank for Louisiana.
Yeah.
Think
Yep.
about it.
Well,
The more money is
you got a
drawn
point there.
here,
It's
we
not like
see
New
less,
Orleans
we
has
pay
never been the
taxes.
state capital before, because that
Exactly.
happened in the early 1700s and on into the early 1800s. Uh,
Exactly. And I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if that is what is in the plan. Who would have ever thought that part of the White House would be demolished? That's what it is.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Demolished. Nobody thought that would have ever happened because if it stood up all this time, all they need to do is just keep the plan going to keep the buildings going some kind of way, because that's the way they do overseas. They all destroy their old stuff from medieval period. They try to preserve it as much as possible. They might update with roofing and electrical and plumbing, but they try to keep their old.
Yep. Well, I believe Donaldsonville was the state capital at one point in early statehood days. Of course, New Orleans was founded way before the state of Louisiana, and then Baton Rouge became the state capital again in 1864. I'm pretty sure. No, not then, but the 1879 thereabout, and I think it's been the capital since then. But doesn't mean they can't look at it again.
Exactly. Wherever the money is, wherever the big bucks are, the popularity, the famous, and the most desired place, that's what they want. Because trust me, we don't even appreciate a whole lot of our jazz and gospel music here, but people all overseas, I know some people, they enjoy it. Can't speak a lick of English, but they know.
So what do you think about City Council's
gold mine here, a diamond mine?
So what do you think about City Council's move to withdraw the request for the $125 million loan?
Something is not right in that water. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Yep.
Trying to confuse people. You do this or you don't do that. Don't do the other. Do the other. Trying to confuse people. But please go over those amendments, because all of those a long sentence.
Yep.
And all you have to do is break it down.
Yep.
And,
yep.
But it's so complicated. People are going to look at that. They're not going to even want to go. Already they don't want to go. But
you're
they're
right
get
about
out there
that.
and vote for Duncan at Gunter, man.
That's right. That's
I
why
could
we
tell you.
I
could tell you. He is right about what he said. That has happened to people.
Yep.
Can't find a document. Can't pull their records up. That is real.
Yep.
So listen, audience, encourage your friends and relatives to go and vote. Not because it's just one thing on the ballot. No, they got to go and vote. He is actually right about that.
Yep. Well, we had our resident fiscal expert, Cary Grant, on yesterday. We're going to hear from Joni Hess today, and we're going to hear from BGR tomorrow. So each day we're going to be dropping some knowledge, getting some views and perspectives on the bond measures, so we can bring everybody up to date and hopefully answer the questions that are out there.
That is real. It has some long, ugly history that's keep being hidden even more. And there's generations past the hip-hop and to the rap, which is not rap to me, because rap is just a talk. Let's rap. Let's talk. It wasn't all of the... that's what it really was.
Yeah.
You have a problem about something? Let's rap. Let's talk. It wasn't all the stuff that they have now. Need to sit down and try to find out for people who are still here to be able to tell you, because putting it in the AI, I'll call it artificial information, and twisting and take your history away, they better go on and try to find out something. Listen, because it's real. They need to put that man in, because he knows exactly what he's talking about. And what he's saying is real.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Always good to hear from you, Ms. Jones.
It's always good to hear you all. Now, we wish the listening audience would promote more people to listen. You're home day in and out. You could get the information. Because the national news, I'm sick of Donald Trump. I'm sick of everything. If you go to Doodly Squat, they want to talk about it. He likes all of that. But that's another big story. If something's wrong with that, I think he is a robot that's being used by outside of this country influence. So I'll let you with that.
Yep. All right. Well, you have a blessed day. Thanks again for calling in.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. All right. It's 7:23 a.m., folks. And if you got somewhere to be at 7:30, you got about 7 minutes to get there. Be safe. Watch out for the kiddos. School zones, speed limits are in effect until 9 a.m. We're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about some news and information that you want to know about, things that you should know about, like the bond measures. We're going to be talking about that during this show. but we'll also be talking about Google Trends as well. We're going to go to break right now. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. The threat of indefinite fiscal administrative oversight forced the City Council to cancel its request for state help to fix the budget deficit. Attorney General Liz Murrow maintains that the oversight is essential as the city is facing up to $160 million budget deficit, which means extreme cuts and possible furloughs are now on the table. Now to relief for thousands of Louisiana families who depend on SNAP benefits. Governor Jeff Landry says the state has found a short-term solution to keep the program funded through November. Benefits will be distributed in stages after weeks of uncertainty about whether families would receive assistance at all. And also, Governor Landry chiming in on the coaching carousel at LSU yesterday, making a bold statement that athletic director Scott Woodward will not choose the next head football coach. He aired out his frustrations about the contracts Woodward gave to former Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher and former LSU head coach Brian Kelly. Landry also says he will not be picking the next coach. And many locals stepping out to help in the storm's aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. At Bywater Bakery, they're hosting a fundraiser this week with 10% of their earnings going to recovery efforts. And staff at Boswell's Jamaican Grill say they plan to have a fundraiser, telling us they're finalizing details and will have more information coming up pretty soon. I'm Gerald Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. And have a great day.
New Orleans, are you ready for a voice that says what you're thinking? Who that, you might ask? Arrington Gavin. That's right, I'm your guy, host of the Arrington Gavin Show, giving you so much filled with bold opinions, real conversations, and zero sugarcoating. We're going to be diving into the issues that matter, politics, pop culture, and all the above, unfiltered and unafraid. Catch the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Fridays, right here on WBOK, What New Orleans is talking about.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. This is WBOK 1230 AM, and I am Will Sutton, and it's 7:28. You got somewhere to be at 7:30. Hope it's on the other side of the bed, or maybe you can turn to the other side of the bed, grab that laptop, grab that phone. Boss, I'm at work and I'm ready to go while you take care of some other business. But it is Thursday, and you know what Thursday is. Thursday at WBOK Good Morning Show, and it must be Congressman Troy Carter. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Fabulous. I'm flying solo today.
All right, brother. I'll be your co-pilot.
You and me.
I'll be your co-pilot today.
All right. Sounds good. So, Congressman, every day it seems like there's another development. And one of the things that is ongoing is the government shutdown. Government shutdown. It doesn't seem to end. And it's very clear that there is a sharp difference of opinion about when to talk about health care and the extension of ACA or Obamacare credits. Can you give us the latest on that? And I know we want to definitely talk about a couple of other things, including your communication with Mike Mazzell, Azell, I'm sorry, and on the National Flood Insurance Program and the Federal Emergency Management Continuity Act. So let me just put that out there as a reminder to you, but also so the listeners know that that's coming up. So, Governor,
yeah, thank you. You know, here we are. You know, nearly approaching the breaking the last record in the Trump administration. The last time President Trump was in office, there was a 34-day shutdown. 34-day shutdown of the federal government that cost the taxpayers $11 billion. We are just shy of that record again. And our counterparts, unfortunately, won't come to the table. Listen, this shutdown didn't have to happen. This is nothing more than a obstruction to take your mind off of the other things that are going on in this White House, to take your mind off the Epstein files, to take your mind off the fact that a quarter of the White House has been torn down, with a wrecking ball, torn down, because the president wants to build a ballroom. The millions of dollars that are going to Argentina that could be coming to assist our farmers or people in our communities. You know, it is unconscionable that we have workers that are going to work every day that aren't being paid. It's unconscionable that the richest of the rich got tax breaks that never expire, but our tipped employees, their tax break expires in 2 years. And the ACA tax credits that help working families afford health care, they want to extend it for 1 year. We're not falling for it. We're not giving in. We're not turning back. This fight is real. The struggle is real. Our people deserve better. And Democrats are hunkered down. We're ready to negotiate. We're ready to work. But we're not going to roll over and just let you have your way.
Well, every day there seem to be cracks in some of this. And does it give you any hope that there are some people saying end the shutdown, and there are people who are Republicans, some
because
Democrats?
what's starting to happen, Will, is they're starting to get pressure from their own people who are realizing that their Republican representatives are just plain wrong. They're on the wrong side of history. You're on the wrong side of Americans. You're on the wrong side of working families. You're on the wrong side of poor people. You're on the wrong side of small business owners. You're the wrong side of families. You're on the wrong side of the military. You're on the wrong side of workers. And they're starting to feel the pressure because the very things that they're cutting, they thought maybe it was only going to impact black folk. They thought maybe it was only going to impact Democrats. But guess what? It's not. It's impacting the very people that support them. And they're not even smart enough to realize that Trump is playing them. Trump considers them dispensable. He'll just get another one, another Republican person in that seat. And they don't understand that at some point you have to have the guts to stand up and risk it all to do what's right and have no fear about doing what's right. Democrats are doing that every single day. And for whatever reason, Trump seems to have some magic over them that they aren't willing to challenge him.
So one of the things that happened this week was the American Federation of Government Employees which represents like 800,000 or more federal and D.C. government employees. Their leader, after doing internal polling, apparently, said that they now want the government shutdown to end. They've been a really big supporter of Democrats for years. What context can you provide for that action being taken with them at this point?
Totally understand. Totally understand the tough position that they're in. They represent these workers who are having a hard time, who find themselves in many cases having to go to food banks and food distributions in order to care for their families. Many have tapped their savings. Many have had to borrow from family and friends, and some don't have any of those options. So I listen. This is a great organization and with great leadership. I totally understand their position. I totally understand the position. I've got nothing to say other than we are going to continue to work our butts off to get this to a meaningful resolution, to get everyone back to work, get their back pay, and also make sure we maintain health care for the American people.
Also this week, the president of these United States said he's ready and willing to meet with Democrats. But apparently,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Set.
I'll believe it when I see it, because that, the last time we made that request, he said he had no interest in meeting with us.
Yeah.
So and listen, meeting is one thing. Meeting with some open-mindedness is another thing. Listen, we just to meet so you can basically talk trash and not do anything or even honor any of the requests, that's a waste of his time and a waste of ours. Listen, we're ready to meet with the president. We're ready to meet with the Republican leadership any day. That's why we've been in Washington. That's why we continue to make ourselves available. But to just have empty conversation means nothing. Now listen, the president wants to meet, we'll be ready to meet. If the leadership wants to meet, we'll be ready to meet. But we want to meet and have meaningful discussion, not the same conversation of my way or the highway. That's not negotiation. Negotiation doesn't mean take what I give you or else. Negotiation means that we exchange ideas, thoughts, and we negotiate and we compromise. That's what democracies are about, and we're not going to settle for anything less than that.
And another thing that happened related to the shutdown this week is Governor Jeff Landry says if the shutdown continues, some state workers might have to be furloughed. So that's getting to yet another layer of impact of people feeling personal impact, family impact about what it means to have this government shutdown continue. Do you think with comments like that from governors like Governor Jeff Landry is going to make a difference with some people who perhaps are really big Donald Trump and GOP supporters?
Yeah, I think they're going to start realizing what you're seeing is nothing more than punitive actions. This is a tightening of the screws to try to hurt the American people further. I'll give you another example. The one example you just mentioned about laying off employees in the state. Then the other is the manufactured date of November 1st being a date that we're going to cut off SNAP benefits, only to come back and retract and say, well, no, we're not going to cut them off everybody. We're going to still give to the elderly and to the disabled, but we're going to let the children starve.
Yeah.
We're going to let the children starve. We're going to let the working poor starve. This is nothing more than a twisting of the screw to try and hurt the American people to get their way. Listen, The federal government has $6 billion in reserves that can be used for enhanced SNAP benefits. State governments also have reserves. They've been used in the past. In 60 years since the creation of SNAP, there has never been the denial of SNAP benefits ever before. Now, that's through all of the atrocities and all the battles over the last 60 years since its inception. But now, all of a sudden, because Trump wants to have his way and Republicans won't negotiate, they're using every tool that they have to try to bring us to our knees. Not the God we serve, brother. We're not doing it. We're going to stand firm.
All right. We're in conversation with Congressman Troy Carter right here on the Good Morning Show, WBOK 1230 AM. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. If you have a comment or a question for the congressman, give us a ring. This is the time that he makes available almost every Thursday, so he can share some news and information with us, and so he can hear from you. It's now 7:40 a.m. Congressman, tell us a bit about the National Flood Insurance Program.
So in April, myself and my Republican colleague Mike Ezell wrote and presented the extension of the National Flood Insurance Program because we anticipated that we might find ourselves in these discussions about a government shutdown. So in anticipation of that, we sponsored legislation that would extend the National Flood Insurance Program beyond any shutdown, in advance of any potential shutdown, rather. That bill was never called to the floor for action. As a result of it not being called to the floor for action, the National Flood Insurance Program is now expired. What does that mean? For individuals who have flood insurance at their homes already, no problem, you're fine. For people who come up for renewal during this shutdown, you will not be able to renew, which means you won't have flood insurance while we're still in hurricane season. That is a travesty waiting to happen. People who are, from an economic standpoint and from our economy, in Gulf Coast states that are impacted by flood insurance needs, if you want to close on a property, sell or purchase, finance a big development, it's frozen. You can't do it because a lender will not loan you money on a property or on a program or a development that requires flood insurance if you can't get flood insurance. So what does that mean? That means that our economy, our realtors, our development deals, our property sales are all frozen. Why? Because they failed to bring our bill to the floor. And here's the insult to injury, Will. And this is a fact that everyone should know. While the government is shut down, that does not mean Congress can't function. We should still be on the House floor voting. Yet we haven't been on the House floor voting in 6 weeks, even before the government shutdown. Why? Because we have another Democratic member of Congress in Arizona who won her election, and the Speaker has yet to swear her in. Why, you ask? Because there is a discharge petition on the floor that needs one vote to advance the Epstein files. Guess how she might vote?
Yeah.
She is prepared to vote for that discharge petition that will allow the release of the Epstein files. Therefore, we have been kept out of session for 6 weeks, and this duly elected member of Congress has never been sworn in. Now, you can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. This is in 2025. This is our modern democracy. This is the stuff that I deal with every day. These are the games that are being played right before the American people's eyes. This is unacceptable. This is unconstitutional. This is un-American.
So I have trouble saying her name, but let me give it a shot. Adelita Grajova?
Grajova.
So is
Grajova,
she?
yeah.
All right. So though she's not been sworn in, is she in Washington, D.C. or at home doing some of the work that she would be doing officially as a congressional representative? Is all of that on hold?
It's all on hold. The people of Arizona don't have any representation. I mean, she doesn't have an office. She doesn't have a staff. She doesn't have a phone. She doesn't have a way to communicate. She's not been granted any office space. I mean, she's not sworn in yet. So none of those things, her ability to function as a duly elected representative have not been afforded to her. Even though the people of Arizona voted her in, she was elected, her votes were certified, she is a duly member-elect, but she does not have the same rights, privileges, or voting power as a member because she has never been sworn in. You can't make this stuff up, man.
Wow.
You can't this is like out of a cheap movie. You're just not swearing her in. They are pushing the envelope to its furthest extent of reality. Here's another part that makes this so telling. When the legislature, which is the Congress, is the third stool of our separate but co-equal branches of government. The executive branch, the president, the legislative branch, the Congress, and the judicial branch, the Supreme Court. When the House of Representatives is not functioning, that power doesn't just float in midair, it finds its home. And where do you think it finds when Congress is not operating for 6 weeks? It empowers the president more. The president said last week in a news conference, I'm the president and the Speaker of the House.
I heard that. That was amazing. I hope Mike Johnson was listening.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Now think about that. I'm the president and the Speaker of the House. If that's not a thumb in your face to say, I shut you down so I can take all your power.
Yep. Well, look, we've got callers, Congressman, so let's go ahead and we've got Reverend Calhoun. You're on with Congressman Troy Carter here on the Good Morning Show. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Congressman,
I'm trying to understand a little bit about how things are being publicized. It was only on the WBOK morning show that it was said about you were feeding TSA workers, and that the administration, and in my opinion, supported by the Republican Party, stopped that. Now, like I said, I listen to CNN. Why wasn't none of that really being publicized about the hurt that they are deliberately and intentionally putting on people? You were trying to
unfortunately,
help those TSA workers,
some of
that
these
has never. WBOK is the only place I heard it, and I'm just trying to find out what will it take for us now publicize more of what they are shutting down, why they're shutting it down, because they're saying, "Oh, we need a continuing resolution to negotiate." No, you don't need a continuing resolution. All you got to do is say that you want the people to have health insurance. I think they're muddying up this thing so much and covering up what's really happening. So I just want to listen, because I think that what they're doing should be publicized, and how it's hurting people, and trying to deflect it to something else. Because the gentleman that was on the news yesterday, I think he's the president of the Senate or something, whatever he is, the majority leader, he sounded like a fool. But anyway, that's another story. But I that's my comment. Is I just think that we need to publicize the damage that people, when they're trying to help people, that this administration and the Republican Party is trying to shut it down.
Thank you, Reverend Calhoun. I'll answer each part of that. I'll start with my feeding of the TSA workers. We started as soon as the shutdown began, and we started providing lunches. 3 days into providing the lunches, we were told that we couldn't do it anymore, that they would not allow us to provide lunches. So I sent a press release out attempting to shame them. WBOK and the local media carried and talked about that. The national media ignored it. Trump has a certain kind of hold on some of these news stations and attempts to censor their free speech. You saw what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. You saw what happened with other stations that settled with him. Thank God for WBOK for having the courage and the wherewithal to provide open airwaves to talk about the truth. And that's why I promote and suggest that people, if you want to get unbridled, fair...
That should not be publicized, or we don't have he has that type of control that he won't allow the people to see that Mike Johnson, who's from Louisiana, and Steve Scalise stood against feeding people a box lunch. Something wrong with that, Don.
Listen, so they came back after I sent the press release out, and WBOK and some of the local stations aired it, and they came back and said, oh, no, you can keep doing it. So at least the local press, CNN and national press didn't pick it up, but the local press did. And as a result, we've been out there every day. We'll be out there again today, providing lunches for TSA workers and air traffic controllers. And listen, they're very appreciative that we're demonstrating that we care. Of course, nothing substitutes a paycheck, but it goes a long way to let them know that this small gesture of kindness demonstrates that while we're fighting to get you back to work, we're demonstrating that we care. And Republicans tried to block that too, for whatever reason. Again, it goes back to my earlier comment of wanting to just tighten the screws and make it as painful as possible to force us to our knees. And it's just not going to work. We cannot. This is our civil rights moment. This is our Edmund Pettus Bridge. This is our freedom fighters. We're fighting for the Voting Rights Act to make sure our voting rights are not taken away, our fair representation is not taken away. We're fighting to make sure that people have access to affordable health care. We have to maintain our position. However painful it is, we have to keep marching forward to demand that our rights are not taken away.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Reverend Calhoun. We're going to take another caller. You have a blessed day.
You do the same.
All right. Congressman, we got another call. Good morning, James. You're on WBOK 1230 AM, the Good Morning Show. You're on with Congressman Troy Carter.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, sir.
I was just thinking when Rev was saying it, and no disrespect, Rev, but I think you missed out when they covered it locally, and then all of a sudden there was a shift in attitude towards helping the American people that are under duress right now. So I thank you for your efforts, Congressman. I want to say this though about that. I think you guys y'all all are missing y'all opportunity at messaging, and y'all not good at it. I don't know, Rev said it a couple of times, and you didn't step in with that fact quick enough, in my opinion. And I think that's one of the things that, when you're having a healthy discussion or debate, I don't want you to wax eloquently on policy in detail. We'll talk about what you're doing, because you're doing a lot. And it's like you don't want to toot your own horn, but the people can't toot your horn for you, bro. y'all have to as a group, the Democrats as a group, like the messaging for I believe it's called appropriated funds. Well, if we got appropriated funds, then why y'all didn't say this at the beginning of this? Look, I don't see a full shutdown of benefits because we have money set aside already for that. They should not hold that hostage because we have, I don't know, what is it, 5 billion or 5 billion?
We got $6 billion in reserve. That's what I mentioned at the beginning of the show. $6 billion in reserve.
At the beginning of this show, I'm talking about at the beginning of the shutdown when they tried to say Democrats at fault, y'all doing this. This is the first thing I would have came out with. Wait, I ain't doing nothing because there's money set aside for it. All we want to do is talk. All we want to do is have a discussion and come to a table and meet in the middle on this discussion. I think that y'all are a little bit behind the rock with that messaging because they're messing up all over the place and everything out their mouth is a lie. But they're so on brand with the messaging, consistent with the messaging and the lie, that you start to think it's the truth. Don't believe me. Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe me. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not. You know, I think y'all are doing the best y'all can, what y'all can. I'm just offering that up as, look, can y'all start getting a little bit more aggressive with y'all messaging, being first to the podium with the facts instead of following them?
Brother James, I couldn't agree with you more, man. Now, I appreciate your observation, and I will tell you what I often say is our Republican counterparts are better at telling their lies than we are at telling our truths.
Yeah, they are awesome at lying, and I'm trying to figure out, well, if y'all got all the facts, why not give them to us so we can judge for ourselves? We know you're lying. We know Mike Johnson lying every time his lips don't move. He's trying to keep the lie in, but it just can't help but spill out. So
yeah, listen, this is a concern that we talk about in our meetings constantly about how we can do a better job at getting our messages out, and in a society where Trump seems to control most of the airwaves. You know, again, BOK gives us an opportunity to come here and to speak truth to power. But these other stations, Trump sues them and they fold over and they give in. Countless number of lawsuits where these national stations have paid them off.
Y'all gotta if y'all can't use the y'all gonna have to use some of these guerrilla tactics like
we've started doing a better job working with social media, using influencers.
James, one person at a time.
Okay, yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, no, so look, James, you are a brother. You are absolutely right. I appreciate your observation. I appreciate the fact that you are absolutely zeroed in on the lies that our counterparts are doing. Help us be a part of the network of in the barbershop, in the office, at church, when telling the truth, helping us do a better job at getting our message out. I accept your comment as constructive criticism, brother, and we're going to continue to try and do a better job at getting the message out on the work that we're doing and also dismissing the lies that they're telling.
All right, thank you.
And I'm already doing that, Congressman. We talk on the stoops. We talk in the kitchens. We talk in the barbershop. Look, we share all our social media content amongst each other and try to make these stories more in everybody's faces. Like, I don't give a damn. I have a mixed bag of friends. Like, I'm eclectic, but I don't give a damn if I upset them because they have to know that. Like, for instance, I was sitting around a group of guys having a smoke and a cig, and they were saying Kamala wouldn't have been the best. You heard her every time she said something, she just sounded retarded. I'm thinking to myself, and this your king?
What the hell does he sound like?
James, we're
Shut the table. Shut the table up.
James, we're going to have to go. Appreciate your call.
All right.
We
All right.
got to let the
Thank you,
congressman go,
Congressman.
and I want to get him on one more point.
Brother
Right.
James, thank you, man. We
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Congressman, I know you got to go, but can you please just take a moment to talk about the FEMA assistance during the shutdown?
Another measure that is so critically important is the Federal Emergency Management Continuity Act. Another bipartisan bill, another bill that I'm doing with Jared Moskowitz, a Democrat from Florida. We both are co-chairs of the Bipartisan Congressional Disaster and Preparedness and Recovery Caucus. Very simple bill, but it makes all the sense in the world. This bill, if passed, will make sure that any time there's a future shutdown, that resources for FEMA will not be subject to disruption. Meaning, if they allow this to come to the floor and it passes, next time there's a shutdown, people don't have to worry about if a storm comes, will they still be able to have access to federal funds. Federal funds should never be suspended as it relates to natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, COVID, or things of that nature. So that's what the Federal Emergency Management Continuity Act does, is it says that disaster relief fund would continue to be obligated and dispersed for covered programs during any lapse in federal operations. Again, Democrats are working. We're putting forth legislation, and we could be passing this stuff, except when he hasn't called us to the floor for a vote, which does not have anything to do, I cannot say that enough, has nothing to do with the shutdown. It has everything to do with the fact that they don't want to swear in Adelia Grijalva, who is our newest member of Congress, who happens to be a Democrat, who happens to be in line to vote for the discharge petition, which will release the Epstein files. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to start connecting these dots and to see what's really going on.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Congressman. I know that you have a lot more to do today. We thank you for working on our behalf, and we thank you for coming to our WBOK family of listeners and watchers to share information as you have just done. Those are some of the kinds of things that we might not be aware of as we think about the government shutdown. So we appreciate your time.
God bless you. God bless WBOK. I'll see you next week.
All right. Have a great day. All right, folks, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to find out from Google Trend expert Isabel Resnick what's been going on. If you haven't taken a look at Google's Frightgeist, if you got a laptop handy or desktop handy, go ahead and take a look. I've been looking at it recently, and I'm excited to talk with Isabel about what they're doing and what they're finding at Google. It's 8:02 a.m., and if you've got somewhere to be for 8:15, you just might make it. And don't forget, school zones are in effect until 9 a.m. WBOK 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
A breezy and chilly Thursday is ahead. Mostly sunny today with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Not as windy as Wednesday. Gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. Lows tonight in the 40s on the North Shore and the 50s on the South Shore. Upper 60s, low 70s for Halloween. Staying dry Halloween night with lows in the 40s and 50s. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Arishar.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. Since taking over the newly merged film and TV behemoth Paramount Skydance, CEO David Ellison has made no secret that he's interested in growing the business with big-time media deals and recently has his eyes set on WB Discovery. Ariel Investments founder and chairman John Rogers is no stranger to investing in the entertainment space, And he says a deal to buy WB Discovery makes a lot of sense for someone in Ellison's position.
There's huge synergies, huge cost cuts that are available. You have two major studios. Maybe you could sell one of the studios and studio lot and all the real estate value that's there. But also just, again, extraordinary amount of synergies that are there, extraordinary amount of cost cutting that's there. And we put it all together. I think there's this real potential of a merger like that would happen.
Ariel Investments is one of the largest black-owned investment firms. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Cindy Wynn isn't just a leader. She's our neighbor, a mom, a hard worker, and someone who cares about every family in our community. On Election Day, vote number 55, Cindy Wynn District E.
I'm Cindy Wynn, and I approve this message.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree. Start a new one. On your time, your degree, your schedule. No excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the whole water stove, Pastor David Impartian Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 12:30 a.m. I am Will Sutton. I'm flying solo today, but not really because I got Justin Lewis behind the glass. So he's keeping me company, although on the other side where you can't hear him unless he turns on that mic. So we've had a great conversation with Troy Carter. Man, so many things going on with the government shutdown. Sometimes you don't realize the impact, the spread, the depth of what is happening, happening with this now second longest government shutdown. Come next week, it could be the longest government shutdown, and meanwhile, it's having an impact on more and more folks. But there's a critical disagreement about the future of healthcare in these United States. Right now, we're going to switch gears and jump into conversation about Google and Google Trends with Isabel Resnick. Good morning, Isabel. Welcome to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton.
Good morning, Will.
How are you?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm doing well. How are you this morning?
Fabulous, fabulous. Thanks for getting up and spending a little time with us to talk about the Google Trends. Of course, we got Halloween coming up. but I know Google Trends is much larger than that. But let's put a little Halloween spin on what you're seeing with Google these days and this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we zoom in actually to your New Orleans area, we've got these 5 top trending costumes. So number 1 is Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. Have you heard of this movie? It is sweeping the nation.
I know, it's crazy. It's like you can't turn the corner without somebody talking about it.
I know, and people are searching on YouTube for hair tutorials so that they can get their hair looking in that dragon braid like Rumi. But what else is kind of funny is that Lorax is still popular, and that's number 2 in New Orleans, followed by Labubu. Then we've got Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters, and then number 5 is Peter Pan. Do you have any idea why Peter Pan might be trending in your area?
Peter Pan? No.
Right?
Yeah. Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was surprised too.
Wow. No idea. Quite a throwback, though, for Halloween.
It definitely is. But, some of those classics stay classic, right?
Yep. Absolutely. So, so what else are you seeing trending, and how are we comparing in New Orleans and Louisiana to what you're seeing with Google Trends across the nation?
Well, it looks like New Orleans is pretty on par with the rest of the country. Of course, save for Peter Pan. That one's a little bit strange, a little bit out of the ordinary.
Right.
But that's all right. I will tell you, though, that across the country, we've got a lot of people searching for cool makeup looks because, of course, as I said, Labubu is trending. That's a big one in the New Orleans area. And people are looking up YouTube tutorials to do Labubu makeup. And then, Kiss. That the Kiss band from, back in the day? That is still relevant. People are still searching up Kiss to do makeup just like that. And we've got your classic Alien, your Wednesday from the Addams Family, and then the Bride of Frankenstein. So people are, searching these up. And they're also using, have you heard of Nano Banana?
Yes.
Our new... Yes. Okay. So I'm glad you've heard of it. For those who don't know, it's our image generation and editing model within the Gemini app. So you can upload a picture of yourself and you can say, add Kiss makeup to me. Make me look like a Labubu. Give me the hair of Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. And you can get some inspiration for how you might look. You might decide, that's not the look for me, but it's a really cool tip. It's the day before Halloween. We're a little bit scrambling and we got to figure out what our vibe is.
Wow. So while we're talking about this, tell our WBOK family of listeners how they can tap in to what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is called Fright Geist. And if you go into your search bar, that's FRIGHTGEIST.withgoogle.com. You can look all over the map of this beautiful country and check out what is trending as far as Halloween costumes go. You can click on the costume map and really get a good idea of what the people in your area are going to be wearing. Maybe you want to be straying away from the pack a little bit. That'll be a good guide. And then in general, if you want to look up what's trending, all over Google, all over the world, you can go to trends.google.com.
Cool. So is Fright Geist something new? Have you all tried this before?
We've had it for a few years now. Yeah. I mean, we always try to give people an idea of what's being searched, all-time searches, that kind of thing. It really helps people get a cool idea of just what's trending. If they want to do the popular thing or they want to get some inspiration, it's a really nice way for people to feel connected with what's going on in their area, what's happening, on the other side of the country.
So Google users can use Fright Geist to find out what's trending now as relates to Halloween. But after Halloween, how can users use Google Trends to find out more about what is trending in New Orleans, Southern Louisiana, or maybe they have relatives in California or even Maine? How can they use Google Trends?
Yeah, absolutely. So go to trends.google.com, and then you can click at the top tab. It says trending now. So I just typed in Louisiana. For example, we've got Lakers versus Timberwolves. That's one of the ones that has a pretty high search volume in the last 12 hours. We've got Pelicans versus Nuggets. So, people are always searching up, these sports trends. Pacers versus Mavericks, Rockets versus Raptors. Lots of people all over Louisiana are big sports fans, clearly.
You seeing any LSU or Governor Landry?
Yes, we've got Jeff Landry. He's been up 500% as of the last 16 hours. So that was a good call.
Well, we realize that you don't live, work, and play here. Well, let me tell you why I brought that up, because it was just a guess. Just recently, the governor of our great state of Louisiana decided that he didn't want to help the city of New Orleans with his budget crisis, and suggested that the bond commission reject a city request for a municipal payday loan. So that sets New Orleans back in terms of how they're going to plug a $160 million deficit. So that happened just in the last couple of days. And on top of that, the LSU football coach, Brian Kelly, was fired after the last horrible game. And the governor came out in the last day and said that the athletic director will not hire the football coach.
Whoa.
So
that makes a ton of sense then.
Right.
That's why he's trending.
Yes. Yep. So it makes a lot of sense about why he would be trending on Google. Now, do you see him trending in Louisiana or elsewhere in the nation as well?
Well, let me click over here. And I just see him trending in Louisiana, but you know what? I could click Explore and learn a little bit more about
that.
Tell me
about that. Tell me about that so we can follow along with you. So you say trends.google.com/trends. Is that right?
Just trends.google.com. That's right.
Okay. All right.
And then you can click on. So what I first did was trending now, and then I searched Louisiana, the whole state of Louisiana, and Jeff Landry was one of the top 10 there. But then I clicked on Explore. That's also in the top navigation tab.
Yep, I see it.
And then and then you can switch over. You can put Jeff Landry as the search term. Then you can use United States. So you can see how that's been trending over the last day. You can also search over the last 7 days, past 30 days. And interestingly enough, starting on the afternoon of October 29th, searches started going up. They started spiking.
Yep, that makes sense with the news developments.
Yeah.
All right. So what else?
People come to Google every day for information. So it's no surprise that, the top most trending events are being searched on Google.
Cool. What else are we in Louisiana taking a look at?
Let's take a look. I'll go back to my Trending Now tab, click over to Louisiana. So we've got Floyd Roger Myers Jr. is trending as well. We've got Sonia Massey, Trey Yesavage. Got to be honest, these are names that I'm not familiar with, but is anything ringing a bell for you?
There are a couple. I mean, Trey would be connected to the World Series, so that means that there are a number of people in Louisiana who are tuning into the World Series for sure. And what was another name that you mentioned?
We've got Sonia Massey.
Not ringing a bell with me.
That's all right. Then we've got Anthony Davis down here. That's a NBA player. He actually was playing in the Mavericks Pacers game, and he left early because he had a leg injury.
Right. We have a big NBA fan base here. Of course, our NBA team is the Pelicans, but people who are deeply interested are watching trades and watching player injuries, and they follow some other teams as well. And Dallas is one of those teams that some Louisiana people would be interested in, even before the Pelicans, and certainly after the Pelicans.
Definitely. And I will say Pelicans versus Nuggets was trending last night, so yesterday. So that would make sense. Those trends spiked at about 16 hours ago, and they continue to go up, and they've been up and down since then. So people have really been watching the highlights of the game.
So for those of us who use Google, and now we're knowing more about Google Trends, how can this be helpful to us as users? So it's not our job, but how can we use it to be extend our curiosities about something, or perhaps it is something related to work?
If it is related to work, I mean, let's say something's coming up in your workplace. For example, AI is a big one, right? That's permeating our workplaces. You could sort of see, if you search up AI, the amount that it's been searched over the last 3 years versus, let's say, over the last 20 years. And it's really interesting just to look up how much that has exponentially risen. And sort of gives you an idea of, in general, let's say you're a person who needs to be on the pulse of what's going on in the world as it relates to your job or even your personal life. You search up those terms or you search up what's trending in general, and you can see, what's important to people. So, if you're in a business to consumer marketing role, then you can see what's trending, and you can, market to and connect to your customers that way by tapping into what people are searching most. Same thing with if you are, let's say you're a teacher, I'm sure there are teachers listening. They want to connect with their students, or they want to share about, things that are happening around the country in the local Louisiana, New Orleans area. And they can start by connecting with something as simple as NBA and, make a pivot to the governor of the state and connect that by saying, listen, this has been really widely searched on Google. Raise your hand if you've searched up these names or these titles over the last 24 hours. And that might give you an idea that these things are really important to folks, young and not so young.
Thank you. As a young senior, I appreciate the not so young.
Of course. I'm over here too. Listen, we got to brand ourselves better, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Isabel, thank you so much for joining us and introducing us to Frightgeist. That looks like a fun place to spend a little time, find out about these trends. I was particularly fascinated when I started looking with the makeup area, which certainly can be connected to Halloween, but it seems like people are looking there for some other things as well.
Yeah, definitely. Search up YouTube Shorts or just YouTube in general. That's a great place to get inspiration for makeup, whether it's every day or, related to Halloween. And I'm sure that even in the upcoming Thanksgiving and holiday seasons, there's a lot of inspiration for you to have a little more fun and be a little bit more playful with your looks.
Well, thank you, Isabel Resnick, and thank you for playing along with us and doing some Google Trend searches with our WBOK family of listeners while you spent some time with us. Quite helpful, quite interesting. We'll be looking at Frightgeist and see what else develops as, Halloween is tomorrow. So I'm sure it will continue for a bit. Thank you so much for joining us right here on WBOK. We look forward to hearing from you again. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Will Sutton. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, folks, it's 8:23 a.m. If you've got a place to be at 8:30, you just might make it if you are close enough. But remember, the school zone speed limits are in effect until 9 a.m., so please be careful. I am Will Sutton. This is WBOK 1230 a.m. The talk line is 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. We're going to be going to break, and when we come back, we're going to hear from my sister colleague, Joni Hess, who covers City Hall for the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com. We're going to talk a little bit about that budget, but more so about the bond measures and what her reporting yielded. So stay tuned right here at WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The family of Shanquella Robinson held a ceremony in North Carolina to mark 3 years since her death in Mexico. Her father still wants justice.
And that's all I'm asking for is the United States of America to step in and look at this case and make it right.
Though video showed she was attacked, the FBI said there wasn't enough evidence to pursue the case. A former Illinois deputy has been found guilty of second-degree murder in the shooting death of Sonia Massey. Sean Grayson killed Massey, a black woman, after she called 911 about an intruder. He claimed self-defense. Grayson faces up to 20 years or probation. And Miami Heat's Terry Rozier and Portland Trailblazer coach Chauncey Billups are off payroll amid a federal gambling probe. Rozier's $27 million salary is in escrow, and Billups forfeits $7 million until the case is concluded. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. The threat of indefinite fiscal administrative oversight forced the City Council to cancel its request for state help to fix the budget deficit. Attorney General Liz Murrill maintains that the oversight is essential as the city is facing up to $160 million budget deficit, which means extreme cuts and possible furloughs are now on the table. Now to relief for thousands of Louisiana families who depend on SNAP benefits. Governor Jeff Landry says the state has found a short-term solution to keep the program funded through November. Benefits will be distributed in stages after weeks of uncertainty about whether families would receive assistance at all. And also, Governor Landry chiming in on the coaching carousel at LSU yesterday, making a bold statement that Athletic Director Scott Woodward will not choose the next head football coach. He aired out his frustrations about the contracts Woodward gave to former Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher and former LSU head coach Brian Kelly. Landry also says he will not be picking the next coach. And many locals stepping out to help in the storm's aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. At Bywater Bakery, they're hosting a fundraiser this week with 10% of their earnings going to recovery efforts. And staff at Boswell's Jamaican Grill say they plan to have a fundraiser, telling us they're finalizing details and we'll have more information coming up pretty soon. I'm Gerald Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. And have a great day.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Tremay, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. the kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think, maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com. A message from the Greater New Orleans East Business Alliance. New Orleans East is primed for economic development and growth. The East has an abundance of commercial space and vacant land available. The opportunity for development is endless. Come be a part of the economic rebuild. For more information, please give us a call at 504-957-3568. That's 504-957-3568. Building a strong New Orleans East makes a stronger New Orleans.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK 1230 AM. If you have been listening, you heard our conversation with Isabel Resnick about Google Trends and their Halloween-focused Fright Guys, where you can find out about Google Trends related to costumes in New Orleans, across Louisiana, across the nation, and see what people are searching for as they get ready for Halloween, and including some makeup trends as well. Good conversation, learn a little bit more about how to use that feature of Google Trends, even when it's not Halloween. It is 8:30 a.m. If you got somewhere to be at 8:45 or 9 o'clock, you're probably in good shape, but 8:30 a.m. arrival, you're late. So get yourself in gear, get yourself ready, and if you're driving, be safe. Watch the kiddos. School zones are in effect until 9 a.m. We're going to be jumping into conversation now, getting back to our ongoing conversation this week about the New Orleans Parish bond measures. We know that these can be confusing to folks, especially if you simply look at the ballot language. So we had Cary Grant on yesterday. We're going to have folks from BGR tomorrow. And today, I'm very happy to say that we have Joni Hess, who covers City Hall for the Times-Picayune NOLA.com. Good morning, Joni. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing well. Good morning, Will. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Positively. Well, I think it's been a little while since you've been on WBOK, so let's make sure that our WBOK family of listeners know a little bit about who you are, where you're from. So we'll start with who your mama and them.
Yeah, so I'm from New Orleans, born and raised, grew up on the West Bank in Algiers.
West Bank.
Yeah, of course. Went to Xavier and SUNO. And, yeah, I've been covering City Hall, the Times-Picayune, for about 3 years now, I believe. Yeah.
Cool. Well, one of those things that you've been covering is the bond measures. And you certainly had the story that's online now, but it's not something that's new to you. You've been covering this, letting readers know ahead of time that this would be coming in the steps. But with not just these bond measures, but a number of things like this related to bonds, people are often confused about what a bond measure is and what a particular vote might mean. Should they vote yes? Should they vote no? But when it comes down to it, what is a bond measure, and what do we have on the November 15th ballot?
Yeah, so a bond measure is essentially borrowing money from investors and whatnot. So New Orleans voters will vote on November 15th for 3 different bond propositions. One is for city infrastructure, and they're all completely separate. So they're 3 separate propositions. One is for city infrastructure. It's $415 million would go toward that, and that would help improve, our streets, fix potholes, go toward improving recreational facilities, public safety buildings, bridges, and the second one is drainage and stormwater management. And this is about $50 million. About $50 million would go toward that. And the last one is affordable housing, and that's $45 million is dedicated for that. So all of these the city would borrow this money over 30 years and pay the money back over time through an existing property tax. I think the rate is set at 14.5 mils. So that's essentially what will go before voters in just a few short weeks.
So is my understanding correct that this does not have any direct impact on the current budget drama that will take us through the end of the year, and that it's not an immediate help for the deficit reduction?
Right. That's correct. Absolutely. This is separate from the budget issues in the sense that if this is approved, this will not immediately take effect, and this also, state law and the city's home rule charter prevents this from happening. The city cannot use general obligation bonds, which is what these are called, to plug a $160 million hole. But the city is, the fact that we are in this predicament right now, it has decreased our credit rating. So we dropped from an A2 to an A3, which is still considered pretty strong, but there is a possibility that our interest rates can increase over time because of this if we don't get our, things in order before then.
So if voters vote yes on each of these, essentially we're giving our okay to pursue these bonds. Is that right?
Yes.
So it doesn't mean they automatically go out and get the money. It's an authorization to say you can use our okay to look at these possibilities, and here are the amounts that we are considering.
Yes, exactly. This would just authorize the city to borrow the money. In total, it's $510 million for capital projects. So, this would essentially allow the city to take on this new long-term debt.
Have you seen any organized opposition to one, two, or all three of these?
Yes, not so much for infrastructure and drainage and stormwater management, but there has been some opposition toward affordable housing, particularly from affordable housing advocates themselves. They feel because voters we approved this housing trust fund last year, so and that takes 2% of the city's budget every year to go towards affordable housing, new developments, to go towards developers for building new homes. So advocates are afraid that if this passes, this $45 million bond, that this would take away from the housing trust fund.
I thought when we approved that before, that was essentially voters saying we want this guarantee. Are you saying that would not be the case, or at least some housing advocates are not sure that would be the case if voters approve this?
Yeah. They're afraid that the city would try to use the 2% fund balance, the 2% from the general fund. They're afraid that they would take the bond money and use it in place of the 2% general fund. And if the 2% is guaranteed, I mean, it comes from the city's budget. It's more accessible. It's more consistent. It's more stable. The bond money, depends on interest rates, market value. That money, obtaining that money, is a little more difficult than it would be to just tap into the city's budget, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So is there a scenario where a voter who said, yes, let's have this Housing Trust Fund in that election, and they're happy that that won, that they would also vote yes on the $45 million for affordable housing projects? Or would that voter be likely to vote no on this one because they voted yes before?
You're asking what voters are more likely to do if they voted
for the Housing Trust Fund
previously?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not sure. That's up to voters. I would advise them to look at the wording very, very carefully. It can be confusing. We just passed all this new Housing Trust Fund last year. We just passed it, and now we're asked to vote on another pot of money for affordable housing. There is no, unlike the other propositions that have lists. There's a list of projects. I think it's like 130 projects or something. It's over 100 projects that are listed that would receive this funding should these bonds be approved. There's no list for affordable housing, but city officials have said one is supposed to be coming. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but we need more housing. That is a serious issue. We're in an affordable housing crisis right now in the city. We need more housing, but it's just a matter of where the money comes from and how we can tap into it. That's what we need to think about. So, November 15th, that's the day to go to the polls and decide.
Okay, I saw that in your NOLA.com story, you quoted Council member Joe Giarrusso, who, of course, is the Council Budget Committee chair, and he said the funding from these measures would stretch far and wide. I know you're paraphrasing him, far and wide across city neighborhoods. If somebody is curious about their neighborhood, is there a way for them to look that up to see if anything in their area might be included?
Yes, absolutely. The city has a bond project list, and the Bureau of Governmental Research also has a list attached in their review, in their analysis their analysis of these propositions on their website. So anybody can go online and view the project list. It's on. I don't have the link in front of me, but that list is accessible.
Okay.
Absolutely, they can definitely go and check to see what projects are happening. There's stormwater projects. There's stormwater parks that are being proposed. It's pretty lengthy, so I would advise them to go check it out.
Okay. We've got a caller, Joni. Hold on just 1 second. Good morning, Kurt. You're with Times-Picayune, NOLA.com City Hall reporter Joni Hess. Good morning, Kurt.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
You got a question?
No, just my comment.
Okay.
I know you all are talking about this bond stuff, and you all say it's going to probably have to raise our property tax here in Orleans Parish, correct? If the voters vote yes for either one of these three, the
Do you
money
know the answer to that, Joni?
I'm just asking if it's a
would it
it's a
increase
property tax?
property tax?
No, it will not increase property taxes. This is an existing property tax that voters would authorize that day. So this is not a new tax.
Okay, so where would the city get the money back to pay the loan back from? From where?
Where would they get the loan?
No, if they vote yes for one of these things on November 1st, where would the city get the money to repay the loan, the $45 million or $50 million that we borrow?
They would get it from our property taxes. So we would authorize them to, when we say yes, we're authorizing them to repay those loans through our property taxes.
But not
over
as
time.
an additional property tax increase.
No.
Okay. Well, then I thought you all was trying to raise the property tax here on homeowners here in Orleans Parish, and honestly, we need to as a city, we need to look at how we do business with everything. All these conventions, the hotel tax, what we get from the Superdome. The city has too much going on every single weekend for us not to break in more money than what we do. I can't see how the city is in all these crises and we always have events going on down here. Maybe we need a better piece of the pie when it comes down to doing business with these people who want to come here to host the conventions and concerts and this and that.
Well, Kurt, you're not alone in that feeling. A lot of people feel as you do that we're taking the responsibility of supporting all of this tourism, hospitality, meetings, and fun things, but we're sending too much of the money to Baton Rouge.
Yes. I think with the motel, I think we get like 0.5 cent or something like that, or 1% or 0.5 cent, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but we need to just look at how we do business, and we need to negotiate a better deal. But I appreciate you all clearing it up for me, because I thought that the property tax was going to be raised to repay some of this loan, and I can't afford nothing else to go up. I'm still looking for the decrease in the flood insurance. My flood insurance keep going up every single year, and I'm not even in the flood zone. But I kept it when I purchased my house 4 years ago because it was so cheap. But now it was $750 a year. Now it's $1,020.
Right. Well, Kurt, keep listening to WBOK's Good Morning Show. We're going to be talking about that, the bond measures each day this week. And we're going to talk about it some again next week. So we're going to give you layer by layer of breakdown and pieces of information. And hopefully 1, 2, or 3 of these will click with you and with others. But we really appreciate your listening. And thank you so much for your call. Have a great day. Joni, I know you got to get going. We got one more call if you have just another couple of minutes. I know you got to get going. So we're going to take a call from T-Bone. Good morning, T-Bone. Will Sutton, and you're on with Joni Hess from the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com.
Good morning. Well, since I have somebody from the Times-Picayune, I'll make a statement and I'll ask a question.
Okay.
So my statement is this, something I've said for quite some time. The city really does not reinvest back in itself. And when I say that, traditionally, and I'm going to say it like that, traditionally, the main form of income for the city has been tourism, hotels, hospitality. But they don't reinvest into other sectors of business. We had One Shell Square downtown. Then the oil boom went away or got changed up and went to Texas. But we have no other major companies downtown. There's no major commerce. We have a CBD that really isn't doing enough business to really support the area that it's in. So I'm going to ask this of the individual from Times-Picayune. Tell me this.
That's Joni Hess.
Miss Julius?
Joni Hess.
Oh, Joni. Okay, Miss Joni. Let me ask you this. When has the city of New Orleans put themselves in the position of being business for something other than tourism, conventions, hospitality, hotels? When have we invested into other forms of business like IT, like I don't know. We don't really do that. Am I wrong in saying that? Please correct me. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a big part of our economy. I think we have tried to revive industry. We've tried to, try different avenues. Like film is one of them. But what else have we done? We've, tourism that's just a big part of our economy. That's part of the reason why, we bring in so much money to the state, and that's a big issue right now because, we host all these events. We hosted the Super Bowl. Everyone wants to come to New Orleans because of what we make it. But, the city is currently considering how profitable some of these events actually are. Because, like for the Super Bowl, for instance, people are saying that a lot of city officials are saying that we didn't bring enough revenue in, or we had a higher than expected amount that we thought was going to come in, and it didn't turn out that way. And that kind of contributed to some of the hole that we're in right now. So, yeah, I agree. Like there needs to be more investment in other areas, for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Joni, for joining us. I know you got a busy day ahead of you, and I know what Thursday and Friday look like heading toward the weekend in the newsroom. How can people get in touch with you, and what particular kinds of things are you interested in that you might be currently working on that you'd love to hear from people about? How can people touch base with you?
Sure. I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram. Joni_Baloney. I am, you can shoot me an email. Whenever I write a story, my email is at the bottom of the stories, so feel free to reach me there. But I cover a wide range of issues, community issues, parks and playgrounds, city policies, quality of life issues. Those are the kind of things that interest me. People-centered issues. I love to talk to people and see what they're thinking. I would love to, feel free, send me tips, send me just to talk, whatever. Shoot me an email. I'm available. I'm around. I check my inbox every day, multiple times a day. That's what we do as journalists. We live in our inboxes. So, I'm around.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for making some time to talk with our WBOK family of listeners, and have a blessed day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Will.
All right. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back and give you a little bit more news and information as we wrap up things and make way for the front porch. It's 8:51 a.m. School zone speed limits are still in effect for another few minutes until 9. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
A breezy and chilly Thursday is ahead. Mostly sunny today with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Not as windy as Wednesday. Gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. Lows tonight in the 40s on the North Shore and the 50s on the South Shore. Upper 60s, low 70s for Halloween. Staying dry Halloween night with lows in the 40s and 50s. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Arishar.
I'm David Patan Sr., owner of Whole Water and Food Over Medicine Academy, coach, consultant, and instructor. We're excited about our 21-day challenge. Stop, prevent, and reverse disease today. Cholesterol, diabetes type 2, high blood pressure, along with chronic illnesses and diseases. We believe that the gift of wellness is the greatest gift, and for $30 per month, $1 a day, you can have this gift for you and your family.
I'm Phyllis Washington, and I've benefited with health and weight loss.
For your gift of $30, healing and wellness can be yours. Call 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. The Whole Water Store. See you at 2135 Washington Avenue today.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
You've got responsibilities.
but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule. No excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
NOLA Zydeco Fest is on Saturday, November 1st at Heritage Park in Slidell, featuring great artists like Rusty McTwire, Lil Nate, Wayne Singleton, Dwayne Dopsy, Cubby Carrier, and more. Go to NOLAZydecoFest.com for 2-for-1 tickets, gumbo cook-off details, line dance lessons by Game Over Skip, and more. Zydeco Fest is all about family. Kids 12 and under get in free. See you at Heritage Park in Slidell on November 1st for NOLA Zydeco Fest.
Come on down. Yeah, bring your bees.
Looking for the right school for your child? Join the Greater New Orleans Collaborative of Charter Schools for the Charter School Admissions Fair, Tuesday, November 12th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Hines Charter School in Lakeview. Meet staff and leaders from over 25 top pre-K through 12 public charter schools across Orleans and Jefferson parishes. Discover programs, ask questions, and find the perfect fit for your family. It's free and open to the public. Register now at gnocollaborative.com or just walk in. The GNO CCS Charter School Admissions Fair, your gateway to great schools.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Bryant Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK 1230 AM. I am Will Sutton. Yes, I am solo today, but that's only in the studio because they got the big man, GM, Justin, on the other side of the glass, holding it down, keeping things moving along. So we just got through having a good conversation with Joni Hess from the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com. She's been covering City Hall and City of New Orleans communities, and more recently has been covering the bond measures. So it was a good opportunity to hear from a reporter who's been following this consistently, talking about the bond measures, answering questions, and just a part of what we're doing here at WBOK on the Good Morning Show to educate you about the bond measures that are on the November 15th ballot. But of course, there are other things happening, and we want you to be aware that with the LSU football coach search, Governor Landry made headlines yesterday that announcing that LSU athletic director Scott Woodward will not select LSU's next head football coach. Now, that is a big change from how things usually work at colleges and universities, big, medium, and small. It's rare that an athletic director would not only be a part of the search and the determination, but would be the leader of such a search and be the person to select, with input, even from the president, about the next football coach, soccer coach, basketball coach, track and field coach, whoever you choose. But rarely is it the governor of the state making that decision, although he stops short of saying he would make the selection, but he did say that the athletic director would not make that selection. So look out for a lot of reactions to that. There are a number of implications if the athletic director is not going to be in charge of that search. And of course, we have more drama with the city's budget situation. We heard from the governor And we heard from Bond Commission folks. The city council withdrew that request for $125 million municipal payday loan. So they withdrew that request, which means they're going to have to look at other ways to, first of all, pay the city workers who are owed money for the work that they are doing. Can you find somebody who's not doing the work they're supposed to do? Yes, I'm sure we can. But I'm sure the great majority of the 5,000 city workers are doing their work, especially with the resources that they're provided, and they're owed this money. So watch out for developments on that front as well. And, of course, we'll have other issues related to the bond measures. And don't forget, we have 3 runoffs for the November 15th election. That's the clerk's race, District A race, and District E. So we got a special program coming for you tomorrow. We have the candidates for the District E City Council seat, Holly Friedman and Amy McCarron. They will be here live in studio tomorrow morning to have a forum, to have a conversation, to answer some questions about the District A and the city of New Orleans. So look for that. Put that on your calendars. Make sure you're tuning in to the Good Morning Show tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. That's going to do it for me and the Good Morning Show here. We're going to make way for the front porch because it's their time. We hope you have a blessed day, and I'm going to do everything I can do to make it a fabulous one, and I hope you will too. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.